Question 82 gives us two endpoints and it asks us to find the location of the midpoint between them. And they also reference the math notes here. What they do is not necessarily what I've done before, but I like what they say. I think this is kind of the thinking. If I'm looking at just the x values, as I start at x is going to increase by a total of 6 units, right? So when I go from 5 to 11, that's an increase of 6. And if I'm trying to find the middle, what I do is I don't increase all 6. I'm just going to increase by 3. So what I would do is I would look at 5 plus 3, and I would have 8 is the coordinate of the is the x value of the midpoint. Same thing, I could look at the y's. Y is starting at 2 and it's going all the way to 14, which is an increase of 12 units. And if I'm trying to find the midpoint halfway between those two, I'm going to only add 6 units to it. And 6 plus 2 is 8. So it looks like the coordinates, my solution is 8, 8. So I want to kind of follow up before I just move on from this and think about, we'll just kind of verify that we're doing the right thing here. So I went ahead and plotted those 2 points. So I've got the 5, 2 and the 11, 14 plotted on this Cartesian coordinate plane here. And we're claiming that the midpoint lives at 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 8. Which is right here. Well, that certainly looks like the midpoint, doesn't it? So again, what we were noticing is that when we go, and I'll use green for this, when we travel from x is 5 to x is 11, that's a change of 6 units on my horizontal axis. And I'll use red again. Well, this time I'll use blue. And as I travel from y is 2 all the way up here to where, whoops, I'm off, aren't I? I'm off twice. I went too far. That's 5, whoops, just to 11. So that's 6 units, and then when I move up here, that's a change of a total of, that's not a straight line. That's a change of 12 units. Let me verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Yeah, so I've got 12 units change here, and my x-axis has a total of 6 units of change. So instead of going, all 6, I've started at this point 5, 2, and I increased the x value by 3, which brought me to 8. Okay, and then I increased the y value by only 6, which brought me up to the number 2 plus 6 is 8 also. So this is the midpoint. And looking at this, it's I can see, it definitely is the midpoint. And in fact, another way to kind of verify that it's the midpoint is we've been looking at these these right triangles, right? I've got this right triangle here and this right triangle here. This is 3 units, that's 3 units. This is 6 units, and this is 6 units. And if I have right triangles with the legs 6 and 3, definitely the length of these hypotenuses would be 36 plus 9, which is what, 45, that's 15. So both of these are the square root of 45, which can be simplified, but we'll talk about that in another course. So definitely this technique is finding the midpoint for us nicely. Another way that you can think about this, and I'm just giving you ideas here. So the one way was to consider how much x is increased, and then start at the 0.52, the beginning, and only increase half that much. Same thing with the y's. How much did the y's increase? If you want to know where the midpoint is, just increase half that amount. Another thing you can do is, if you do know the endpoints, we discussed this in class, you can find the average of the endpoints. So if I've got my two x values, which are 5 and 11, if I add those, I get a total of 16, and half of that is exactly 8. Same thing over here for the y's. If I add my y's, I've got 2 plus 14. If I add those, it's 16. Half of that is also 8. So we don't need to do b.